Chaos in a convent? A deaf-mute gardener becomes the center of scandal and wild secrets when he enters a seemingly quiet monastery. Watch as absurd comedy, forbidden desires, and outrageous twists unfold in ways you never saw coming. Stay with me. This is one story you won't want to miss.
Hey folks, Mahi here. Heads up, there are spoilers ahead, so grab your snacks and let's dive into today's story.
This is Fernandez, sister. The girl has spent all night and morning looking for a donkey that escaped from the convent grounds after missing her morning prayers, in which she makes excuses, first to Sister Ginevra and then to the abbess, Maria. And this is Alessandra. The girl looks dreamily out the window as Ginevra watches, together with Fernanda. The girls gossip about Alessandra, believing that she dreams of some handsome man who will come to the convent and take her with him. At this time, Alessandra meets with her father, asking how the family is doing, and also inquiring if the merchant Ricardo has asked about her. Alessandra is upset that the engagement with the merchant may be forgotten, but her father asks the girl not to despair, after which she leaves the convent. Fernanda and Ginevra try to find out what her father has said to make Alessandra cry. Passing by a vegetable garden, the girls attack the local gardener, Marco, who constantly stares at them, which makes Fernanda and Ginevra hate him while they torment him. Tommaso. Father Tommaso goes to town to sell fabrics. After collecting the embroideries, Tommaso meets Lago, who declares his departure because the nuns have spat on him and called him a Jew. Meanwhile, in Louisiana, a simple servant boy named Macedo is sleeping with his master's wife when the lad climbs up on the woman a second time. Bruno appears in the bedchamber from home. Macedo escapes by jumping out the window. Bruno has not seen who it is, but suspects that his wife's lover is one of the servants. The grandee goes to the bedroom, where at this time, Macedo is already pretending to be asleep. Bruno approaches each servant and touches his chest. Macedo's heart is about to jump out of his chest, which is how the boy gives himself away in the dark. Bruno cannot see who it is, so he cuts off a strand of hair with his knife, promising to deal with the servant early in the morning. To avoid punishment, Macedo picks up Bruno's thrown knife and cuts off a strand of hair from all the servants in the bedroom, which confuses the master in the morning, drunk on wine. Francesco waits for Macedo outside, noticing the lad. The woman pins him against the wall, intending to undress the poor servant right there, which Bruno sees with the guards, ordering them to fetch Macedo. Escaping from the soldiers in heavy chainmail and armed with spears is not difficult in the woods. The lad accidentally meets Father Tommaso, who, instead of selling embroidery in town, got drunk and accidentally dropped his luggage with fabrics into the river, climbing into the cold water. Macedo pulls the fabrics out of the river, for which Tommaso wants to thank the guy, but he has no money or wine. Macedo asks only for a room to sleep in, if there is one available at Tommaso's monastery. Upon his return, Tommaso treats Macedo to fresh bread, after which he offers wine. Once drunk, Macedo begs for his sins from the saintly father, telling him what he did to Bruno's wife. Now the boy is afraid to go back because he is likely to die, so Tommaso allows Macedo to stay at the monastery. To this end, the saintly father brings Macedo to Sister Maria in the morning, telling her that he accidentally met this deaf-mute boy. The poor man's family supposedly told the father that Macedo was a handyman, and so Tommaso decided that the boy was just necessary in their monastery. The guy's first mission. Macedo goes on his first mission, where Ginevra sneaks up on him. The girl tries to talk to him, but Macedo gestures that he is digging in the ground. After dealing with the digging, the guy goes to clean the walls, where Fernanda and Alessandra notice him looking at the girls. Macedo smiles. Fernanda rushes at the guy with an axe, threatening to cut him down for looking at them. At that moment, Sister Maria appears, explaining to the girls that the boy is deaf and dumb, and that from today on he works for them at the monastery instead of Lago. Sister Maria takes Alessandra away, telling her that Tommaso, whose father was robbed by bandits, stole all the embroidery the girl was making for sale to make up for the loss. Maria assigns Alessandra an assistant, looking at the old woman. The girl sighs heavily, but nothing can be done. Suddenly, Alessandra's frame breaks, so the girl goes to Macedo, who at this moment is followed by Ginevra. Seeing a guy with a cart entering, Alessandra immediately begins to tell him all her problems, although she knows perfectly well that Macedo is deaf. The guy shows that the frame is already fixed. When Alessandra comes out, she is already being watched by Ginevra and Fernanda, who spotted her sister lying in the grass like a tiger. Meeting Macedo in the evening, Tommaso asks the boy how his first day was. The boy tells him that everything is great. In addition, he met the sisters, who he found very interesting. At night, Fernanda is visited by her friend named Marta after stealing holy wine from Father Tommaso. The girls head to Alessandra, or Ginevra arrives a little later, drunk. The nuns begin to sing songs. Afterwards, Martha asks the sisters if it is true that they have never been with men. According to Martha, the girls have missed out on a lot, for it is the greatest pleasure on earth. But the nuns consider sex a sin that makes it impossible to go to heaven. Alessandra falls asleep, and Fernanda and Martha begin kissing in front of Ginevra, taking her sister under her arms. Fernanda escorts the girl to a room where they begin kissing. The next morning. In the morning, Alessandra approaches the working Macedo, handing him a handkerchief that the girl embroidered for the boy as a thank you for listening to her. Sitting down next to him, Alessandra looks into the guy's eyes before kissing him. After knocking the girl down, Macedo wants to pierce her, but when he hears the bell ring, he stops, jumping up. Alessandra runs into the convent to pray, where Fernanda notices that the girl is all covered in dirt. After prayer, Fernanda and Ginevra go to wash their things. Alessandra approaches them from home. Fernanda wonders where the girl has soiled her clothes, to which Alessandra tells her that she was helping to dig a ditch for a new worker. When the girl leaves, Fernanda leaves Ginevra alone to wash her clothes while she goes with Marta to the woods to fetch belladonna, which, according to Marta, can help seduce any man. The girl brews a solution, a couple of drops of which Martha drops into Fernanda's eyes, after which she rubs the girl's cheeks with a drop of blood. After that, they go to Macedo's hut, where they undress the boy, having properly aroused him. The girls leave, meeting Ginevra on the way. As evening falls, Macedo tells Tommaso that he is willing to stay at the monastery for a while longer if the Holy Father doesn't mind. Tommaso is happy to hear this, for they just need a worker here. And according to Macedo, things seem to be getting better with the sisters. In the morning, Macedo breaks into Alessandra's room through the window, who immediately pounces on the guy, fascinated. They fail to notice an old woman who enters the room to help Alessandra with her embroidery. Out of surprise, Macedo curses when he sees the nun. The old woman doesn't react at all, so the guy escapes from the room just as he came in, through the window. Meanwhile, Ginevra tells Maria that Fernanda has purposely invented the story of the donkey's escape in order to leave the convent grounds, supposedly to search for it, while she herself does an incomprehensible thing, offering her candidacy for courting the animal. Outside, Ginevra notices Macedo asleep, as she has observed Marta and Fernanda preparing a potion. The girl also decides to prepare a potion, only she cannot drink it. It is only necessary to put a drop in her eyes. At this time, Alessandra comes to Macedo, forcing him to talk, for she has heard him swear. They do not manage to talk, for Ginevra enters the hut. The stupefied girl sits down on Macedo, but then pronounces that she likes women better. Hearing singing outside, Ginevra hides behind bales of hay, meeting Alessandra there. Fernanda appears in the hut, who ties up Macedo and takes him into the woods. After following Fernanda, Alessandra and Ginevra notice a coven of witches in the woods with Macedo tied up on a rock nearby, throwing off her clothes. Ginevra sets out to join them. A ritual is performed on Macedo, during which Fernanda is supposed to have sex with the boy. But they are distracted by Ginevra screaming, trying to calm her down. Marta is hit on the head with a totem, and Alessandra runs to Fernanda with Macedo, thinking that the witches want to sacrifice the guy. After freeing Macedo, the girls head back to the convent, where Ginevra has already run in, waking everyone up and telling them that Fernanda is a witch. The bishop's arrival. Alessandra, Fernanda, and Macedo arrive until Bishop Bartolomeo, who has arrived in the morning, declares that Ginevra is in a state of inadequacy because of the belladonna potion, which the girl has brewed herself. Taking Ginevra by the hand, the bishop goes to the cell of the abbey, where not only Sister Maria, but also Father Tommaso comes out in the morning. The bishop holds a trial, according to which he issues a verdict against all. Father Tommaso is deprived of his ministry, causing him to become a monk, while Macedo is handed over to Bruno's guards, who lock the boy up in a dungeon. After a while, sitting in the meadow, Ginevra apologizes to the sisters for all the time she has reported everything she has seen or heard to the abbess. She also apologizes to Fernanda for breaking the ritual. Fernanda also apologizes in return for not revealing that she is a witch. Pensive Ginevra asks if Macedo will be killed. In the meantime, Bruno visits the guy in the dungeon, thanking him for divorcing that woman because of Macedo. And now Bruno has a new girlfriend, seemingly even a faithful one. The man has two pieces of news for Macedo, good and bad. The good news is that Bruno will keep Macedo alive, and the bad news is that he will keep her only to torture the guy. After the rich man leaves, the sisters slip a turtle with a candle on its shell into the corridor. Noticing it, the guards decide to follow where the turtle is going, allowing the nuns to let Macedo out of the dungeon. Seeing Fernanda, the boy is frightened, but the girls say they want to bring Macedo back to the convent. At this point, Sister Maria, taking a donkey, goes into the woods under the pretense that the animal has escaped and the abbess has gone to look for it. Meeting Tommaso, they are delighted to see each other. Hearing someone's voices, the man and woman hide, and the nuns with Macedo run past them. Noticing the donkey, Fernanda stops, for she has always used the animal to leave the monastery grounds. As the nuns run away, Tommaso and Maria kiss and then leave. This is the end of the movie. So that's it. If you enjoyed this movie, share your thoughts in the comments section below. And don't forget to check out the recommended movie on your screen right now. Watch it and join Mahi's movie recaps.